Hello everyone, welcome to your Q&A ahead of Gameweek 6 with probably the two worst ranked content creators out there. Only Tom Freeman can boast a worse rank than... Is he? Actually, I think he's overtaken you, isn't he? So...
I don't know. I've given up caring what everyone else is doing because it's so bad. And do you know what's worse about it is that genuinely, so it's Saturday night, Lee and I were out. I didn't tell you this before we came on because we were chatting about other things. We had the best set of date weekends ever because we were out Friday and Saturday night. So Saturday night, weirdly, I was at Spurs, but not for a football match. So I'm at the Spurs stadium and I'm like, let's just check my rank. And I was up. I had a green arrow.
Oh.
It was 1.5 million up, right? And I was so happy. I was like, right, this has gone really well. And I said to Lee, it will end in tears, because I only had one player to play on Sunday, and it was Ollie Watkins.
Oh.
And so I knew it wasn't going to stay at 1.4 or 1.5. I knew it wasn't going to stay there, but I was thinking, if it could just stay at like 300k up.
Yeah.
400k up, I'd be real happy. That's fine. No, I ended up going 5k down.
That is a huge red just from a couple of games.
5k, most of it was Reinders and Haaland.
Yeah, Reinders, Haaland, I guess
Little bit of
Semenyo's still got
Semenyo.
5.
Yeah, it was
Watkins,
a little bit of
blank,
Semenyo.
Senesi, quite popular. Oh.
It was honestly, and I was like, how have I lost 1.5 million and 5k in a day? And then I laughed and just thought, oh well, here we are.
And crucially, wildcard chip deployed.
Oh, I'm done. Just like, after that, I was like, this can't continue.
Did you do it as soon as the results finished? Was that it, or did you even do it before that?
No, so I didn't do it on Saturday because I was actually on quite a nice green, and I actually quite liked my team for game week 6. I was like, it actually looks all right.
That's how I feel.
And so I looked at it and I was like, it looks all right. And then DeCarpa was going to go down on Saturday night, and I was like, do you know what? I was living my best life, and I was like, I just take the 0.1. I just take it, let it happen. It's fine. Worry about it tomorrow. So he dropped in price, and then Sunday rolls in, and I was like, okay, let's brace ourselves, everyone. Let's get ready, because either it's going to end 0-0, and the two sets of clean sheets are going to hurt me for City and Arsenal, or highly owned players are going to score. And it's going to hurt me. There was no win. The only possible win is if somebody like Real Rogue was the goal scorers for both sides, but even then, like, it was unlikely. Anyway, so I was like, I'll leave it. So it got to the end of the Arsenal game, and I was honestly just so depressed by it. I was just like, I can't believe how badly today has gone. And then I thought, right, I'm still not going to do anything rash. I'm going to get through the FPL family live stream, and then because Lee's got another green arrow, so I'm like, get through that. And
where's
then
he now? He must be like
1 point. I don't know. It's like 1.3k or something. No, 103.
Imagine
like,
if he was
I don't know
1k.
where he is. He's like, no, he's not that high up. He's like 1.3 million or something like that. But he's like, so it's another green arrow for him, and I'm just like, oh god, I hate you. I hate this game. I hate everything. So I get off the FPL family live stream, and then I thought, right, I'm going to do the sensible thing. We're thinking about this logically and sensibly. I'm going to get my team up in transfer mode, and I'm going to just remove anyone that I really don't want, and we'll see how many we've got left. And there were 4. And I thought, no, it's got to be done then, hasn't it? You can't keep 4. Like, that's stupid. So I hit the button, and then
Did you have any frees?
I had 2.
Frees.
So I could have done it, but I still hated my team. So I was like, well, I'm using these free transfers to bring in 2 players that I would definitely get on wildcard and hold long term anyway. Why don't I just keep the 2 free transfers for after my wildcard? Because obviously it's not like I'm going to lose them now. They're going to roll through. So anyway, we're here. The button has been pressed. I feel a lot happier when I look at my team. Even if you did say it looks fun.
we're going to look at it in a sec, and I have to say, I was expecting the worst, because I don't know if you saw on Black Podcast, I did a bit of review of Harry's team, Raptors team, Mate's team, Slipper's team, all the big boys. 13 out of 15 players the same across pretty much all the wildcards, with just the subs different. It is awful how strong the template is on the wildcard in 6. And I'm delighted to say, Sam, yours was refreshing. But
That's terrible, though, isn't
refreshing and fun doesn't always mean good. I like it.
No.
I like it. You like it, which means there's probably going to be a problem.
I'll be at 11 million by next week.
God, I know. Eventually, we'll be so low that it's physically impossible for us to get a red arrow. So
that's kind of where I am now, though. Surely, like,
yeah,
I know that there are other.
Well, you managed it at 8.2 million last week.
It's so bad.
I've never noticed. I mean, I've had some bad starts before, but I mean, a bad start is like 1 million, 2 million. I've never been down in the 7, 8 million
not
trenches.
By Gameweek 5.
Thank God I'm on this with you and not like Lee at 1 million or someone ranked in the top 100k. I just couldn't cope.
Honestly, I'd have to sleep next to him every night with him at 1 million and me at 8 million.
I'd suffocate him in his sleep.
I mean, I do threaten it most times. If you mention FPL to me once more, that's it.
Just one more to pillow over the head, put him out his. Actually, it's us that needs a pillow over the head, putting out our misery.
I do wonder that sometimes. I'm like, maybe you should just put me out my misery.
Amazing. Sorry, I completely ignored the chat. That is us lamenting. There will be more of that to follow. So Derek Knowles just says those ranks. Yeah, we're aware, Derek.
We know.
It's nice that people keep pointing it out, but we are actually quite aware how terrible we are doing this season. But thank you.
Do you know what the best? Do you know what? Shall I tell you another funny story? Because last weekend I was honestly. So at one point on Saturday, everything was going wrong from FPL perspective, and I'm walking down the high street where I live with Max. He's wearing his Spurs shirt. Oh, we haven't even talked about Spurs Brighton. We'll talk about that later. Walking down the high street, Max is wearing his Spurs shirt, and this old guy just goes, "Do you know you're losing 2-0?" And I looked at him, and I was like, "Yes, thank you. I don't need to be reminded of that." And he was like, "Whoa, sorry." And I was just like, and the language that nearly left. If I was not with my children, the language that I think would have left my mouth might have not been appropriate.
What would you have done if you'd followed up with, "And you're 8.3 million"?
I probably punched him in the face. No, honestly, Max just went, "Why have people got to be like that?" I was like,
I
don't know, Max.
I do think Spurs, do bring it on yourselves a little bit. Yelena's in the chat giving it all this.
What's she saying?
She's saying, "Poor Seth, must be hard when your partner isn't having a rubbish FPL season." You're down in the trenches with us, Yells. Don't give me all this rubbish. She's like 6.8 million or something stupid.
Still better than us.
Yeah, that's a shame. Anyway, CH says, "You two are such fun to watch. Thank you. At least we bring something that isn't."
We laugh at ourselves.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
And now let's give loads of advice about who to bring in for your FPL team. That's why we're here.
And whatever we say, do the opposite.
Niraj, Mo Salah or no Salah on a wild card?
Okay, so I had Salah up until 9:47 on Tuesday evening when Ekitike whipped his shirt off and got a red card. Because at that point I thought, oh, hang on. It's a guaranteed Isak start now. And in my head, the Salah to Isak move was a couple of weeks down the line. I was going to keep Salah and Haaland. And then 2 weeks down the line, 3 weeks down the line, I was going to move to Isak. When we got to the point where Isak was nailed, a bit more nailed than he is now. But that Ekitike red card has changed my thinking entirely, because now surely, Isak's got to start the weekend against Crystal Palace. If we're still worried about protecting him and easing him back in, then that means Ekitike surely starts in the Champions League in midweek, which means then Isak starts in the Premier League.
Yep.
So now I'm like, well, the circle of when I'm going to get Isak starting has shifted. Because I was thinking it's going to be the Champions League games. We're going to get 2 Isak starts in the Champions League and Ekitike is going to get the 2 PL starts. Now I think it's the opposite. And so therefore, I have gone without Salah.
Well, I'm just looking on my work laptop because I think we've done too many of these together, because I think we do share the same brain, because I haven't pulled the trigger on the wild card yet, but I'm debating it. And the first name I put in was Isak. So when I saw your wildcard team, which was showing a bit, I thought, oh no, we're both going to end up wildcarding and bringing in Isak, and it's going to be a bloody disaster. You just know it. Yeah, I'll show yours in a bit. I've got the team that I put together as well. They're more similar than not, which is terrifying. But we're both Salah. We're both no Salah.
Yeah.
I think that's clear. Barney, hey both. What do you think? Mateta, Salah out for Reinders, Haaland, or Watkins out, and maybe Foden in this week? On wildcarding next week. I really want Foden, but I've got
this
3C.
Week.
I've got bloody 8 Nori.
Have you still got 8 Nori?
I've still got 8 Nori.
That's interesting. Why have you still got 8 Nori?
Interesting is one word for it. Because, Sam, I've had...
It's just other issues.
I've had...
Do you know what you need, Ash? You need a wild card.
8 Nori isn't even my biggest issue, and he's not even playing for another 3 weeks.
Oh, I do love you. I like Foden for this week. I just don't trust Pep and Foden. I don't trust Pep just to not go, great game, you're benched. Do you know? Because he does that with Foden, doesn't he?
They haven't got a lot of options, have they? With Marmoush and Cherky out.
Cherky out. No.
And it would be a shame to drop him now, given he is like recovered from all of his personal stuff and he's now like man of the match basically every week.
I agree. Would you? I think that the slight issue I have with Foden is finding the extra money over Reinders, because obviously Reinders is super cheap in a nice way, and I find it hard to get that third. I mean, it's quite easy if I'll make a sacrifice on one of my Arsenal picks, but if I won't and I want to stick with the most expensive, then it's harder to find that money for Foden.
I guess the point here, though, is that Barney is wildcarding next week. So do you go for Foden over Haaland for 1 week, given that there's a yellow flag currently on him? And then next week you could then get Haaland as part of the wildcard, right?
Well, so this one is suggesting that actually you would get Haaland anyway, wouldn't you? Because it's Watkins out and maybe Foden this week, or Mateta and Salah. So assuming that you would be selling Salah and Watkins.
It's the or, right? Because it's Mateta, Salah out for Reinders, Haaland, or Watkins out and maybe Foden. So I think it's Watkins out for a striker and then Foden in.
Yeah, but Mateta and Salah out for Reinders and Haaland, or Watkins out and maybe Foden. I think they're saying you get Foden and Haaland for this week.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, I'd do that.
So for this week, I would do that. The long term, I think on a wildcard team, in the long term, Reinders is the better pick financially for balancing the rest of your team. But for Gameweek 6, I think Foden is the best pick by a long way.
And if you want Watkins for Burnley at home, and if you're wildcarding next week anyway, Fulham at home isn't that great a fixture. I would definitely go for Foden over Reinders for a 1 week.
I would too.
Yeah, cool. FPL Cov, Kudus or Xavi?
Ooh, I'm so torn here.
Yeah. Can you afford both?
So the team that you're going to show, I can't afford Xavi.
Right.
I've got 0.2 in the bank with that team, and I would need 0.6 to go from Kudus to Xavi. It's doable if I'm prepared to make a slight sacrifice with the goalkeeper, down from a 5.5 to a 5, which I'm not unhappy about. It would basically mean losing Raya and instead having Pope.
Yeah.
Which isn't terrible. The thing I like about Xavi is the set pieces, the fact that he's on free kicks. I do really like that. I do worry that he's slightly more of a rotation risk than Kudus. Kudus is going to play every week until Kulusevski comes back. He's going to play every single week. Xavi does get rotated more and also did play the League Cup when everyone else was rested. But he was such a game changer against Jorla the weekend. He came on and changed the game.
Yeah.
I prefer Xavi. But security of starts, I think Kudus is more secure.
I think Xavi is the better pick, assuming minutes are equal. But I think you're right. I don't think we can assume minutes are equal at the moment.
No.
I mean, it was about as good a midweek as you'd wanted. I think Kim getting 60 minutes and then subbed off, I think pretty much confirmed he's going to play Wolves. But then after that and after Champions League games, I just don't know. It just depends on his fitness, whether Frank thinks he's ready to go.
Yeah, and we have other options on that side because we have, like we saw last week, he played Wilson order, but I don't think he'll do that again because I think that was the weakness in our team against you. Not that I solely blame Wilson because that's unfair, but we also have Brennan Johnson that can go out on that side as well and has successfully been deployed there before Xavi Simons arrived. So Xavi definitely has the potential to be rested after Champions League games, whereas on Kudus' side, not so many options there. Which is why at the minute I'm still on Kudus, but I can see the appeal of Xavi is real.
Xavi more fun, Kudus more sensible. I think that's about where it goes.
Yeah.
I think I would lean towards Xavi, but that is because I risk it unnecessarily for players like that. I'm not as big on Kudus as you. I'm
not that big on Kudus.
I
just want to stay invested in Spurs for Wolves.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Homegrown FPL, I may still move Palmer to Foden, like that a lot.
That seems sensible.
Palmer to Foden, lovely. Yeah. Only people at 7 million have Ryan Aitnori. That's not true. I'm sure there are some people at 8, 9, 10, 11 million who also have Aitnori.
I'm surprised you've still got him. There's just been other things, because it's a lot of money to have sat on your bench.
Well, he only got injured recently. Yeah, he got injured 2 weeks ago. Last week, I had other things to do. Okay. Well, I say that. The other thing I had to do was nothing. I rolled my transfer. But that is because we had to get a plan in for Haaland this week. Because I've got Haaland in for free.
Okay.
But my defence this week, even with Aitnori on the bench, is Porro, Munoz and Milenkovic. So again, it's not a priority this week. So I'll just slowly watch him die in price and then wildcard him out as soon as he's back to full fitness.
When are you planning to wildcard?
Well, probably next week. The reason I'm not doing it this week is because I quite like my team. I'm back in Forest one more time at home to Sunderland, and I've got the triple captain on Haaland.
Oh, the triple captain.
So if I wildcard, obviously I can't do that. But it's been a horrible week because I've had to watch all the players that I would probably buy on the wildcard go up in price. And I'm about 0.5, 0.6 down on quite a few wildcard teams now. So, and if I get, Milenkovic went off with cramp. I mean, I've got Vert still in the team who might not even start. I've got Porro, who James from Planet FPL was saying was a bit of a risk. It's not great, Sam. I'm not going to lie. It's not great.
Porro start.
Good.
Porro start.
Good.
It'll be the back four of dreams against Wolves on Saturday night.
Okay, good. That's what I like to hear. Eddie Casey, who would you pick on wildcard? Gyökeres or Saka?
I'm on Saka.
I'm going to show you a wildcard now because I think that is a good segue. This is Sam's wildcard.
I'll
can't see me, but I'm gone. But I just want to see your wildcard anyway. It's fine. Talk us through it for the pod.
Okay, so the two goalkeepers, Raya and Dubravka. Makes sense to keep Dubravka at the moment. I really like the Arsenal double up defensively. That makes sense to me. I just feel like Arsenal defence is going to be the way to go, and owning one won't be enough. So I'm going for the double up there with Raya, and then the back line consists of Timber because of the double up, and because I could afford to get to Gvardiol. No. Why have I said that? Gabriel. I could afford to get to Gabriel, but not quite without making a little compromise elsewhere. So that's why I'm on Timber. Saliba's achievable right now, and obviously I can go down to Calafiori if I want to. But Timber, I have a bit of a love affair with Timber. I always enjoy having him on my team. Then Senesi, Goodmanson and Van der Ven. Oh, now Jules taught me how to say this on the pod this morning, and I can't remember because he's a Parisian, isn't he? What did he say? Mikili? I can't remember what he said. Mikili. I can't remember how George pronounced it in his beautiful French accent, but anyway, the Sunderland defender Mikili, I went with, and that's definitely not right, but he will tell you if you listen to the pod. And then the midfield five, Semenyo, who I just should have got weeks ago, and I annoyed with myself for going Gibbs White when I should have gone Semenyo. Saka, Reinders, Kudus, and Stack, and then the front three of João Pedro, Haaland, and Isak.
I mean, it's nice.
It's nice.
I like it. I mean,
fun.
This is the team that I put together earlier. I'm sorry, it's massive. So I did this thinking. So mine also had Isak in. So mine was Raya Dubravka.
Wait, hang on, that's my team.
That's yours. That's your team. Hang on.
Don't put that back up.
I was going to say that does look that looks very similar.
Exactly the same.
Hang on a second.
What have you done with it?
What have I done? Hang on. I've got it. Don't panic, everyone. Got it. There you go.
Oh, Gyökeres.
There you go. So yeah, mine was
no JP.
No, this is it. So the sacrifice on my team was JP. So Dubravka, Pope.
Why don't you cover me up while you talk this through?
That's a good idea.
Go on, stick it over me. Yeah. There you are.
Dubravka, Pope. So Pope over Raya. Saliba, Rodon, Chalabar, Senesi, Lacroix, Semenyo, Stack, Reinders, Fernandez, King, Isak, Gyökeres, Haaland. So very interesting that we both are picking Isak. I just want some skin in the Liverpool game.
I agree.
In the Liverpool games, because I think particularly from game week 9 onwards, 8 and 9, they look really, really strong. And I've tried to build Salah Haaland teams. It doesn't work. This team's 4 at the back most weeks. So it's Saliba, Chalabar, Senesi, Lacroix. One of Stack or King could come in. I think King is a bit of a risk now. I still think minutes are going to be managed for him, and obviously a young player. So it's basically Stack who I'd feel comfortable starting. He's very, very popular in the wildcard team, Stack, but he's got to deliver for 5 million.
Well, he has, but also I'm planning to bench boost in game week 8 or 9, and that's why it means that I'm going heavy on Leeds, because Leeds make a lot of sense for game weeks 8 and 9 as a bench boost. Post game week 8/9, then I can free up some money by going down, because I just burn the slot. Like that midfielder slot can get burned, or if João Pedro drops off a cliff, which I don't think he will, but if he does, then I can take that third forward slot down. So it's about creating flexibility, I think.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at Liverpool and thinking I'm not comfy at all not having a Liverpool player, and I don't really want Gakpo. I don't want to go back to Wirtz. I've been there, I've done that, I've been burnt, and it's too painful. Ekitike is now suspended. I don't want Salah because it disrupts the rest of my team. It doesn't look as nice. So Alexander Isak, you're a bit earlier than I was anticipating, but here we are. This is where we're going. And I'm hoping that by going early on him, if he returns this weekend, that he will see a bump in ownership and then a bump in value, because that would be helpful across the rest of my team at some stage as well. And it means that by doing this now and then bench boosting relatively quickly, probably 8, maybe 9, that I can remove some of those other picks, because maybe at that point I don't feel that I need to keep Saka, and maybe I can go down to Eze and feel more comfortable with that. And then that allows a bit more budget to go around the rest of the team. Maybe it allows a Gakpo back in, or maybe if Wirtz does suddenly do what Lee thinks he'll do and be brilliant when Isak's starting, then it will allow me to get to Wirtz or whoever else
I'm putting a lot of stock in that, considering I've still got Wirtz.
Yeah. You are, yeah. And Lee's convinced that Wirtz will be really good when Isak is there. So I am looking at it thinking, well, maybe actually the right thing to do here is to just go with Isak for now, knowing I can invest more heavily in Liverpool by 9 or by 10, probably more likely, because if I bench boost in 9. But then actually having somebody in for a bench boost in 9 isn't, having someone else in rather isn't impossible either. So I'm kind of happy. I feel like I've settled. When you get to a point with the wildcard team where you stop kind of tinkering with it, and I'm sort of tinkering around the edges. Like I would like a bit of Nico O'Reilly in there, but I'm not sure how long he's going to last, and that's problematic when you're looking at a bench boost that's kind of 2 or maybe 3 weeks down the line. So I think I'd rather just stick with what I've got and run with that.
The trouble is, once you start tinkering a little bit, like you take one player out, that then causes a chain reaction where you go, oh, now I've got a bit of money to do him up, and then I can do this, and I can do that. And then suddenly your whole team's different to the one you're actually happy with originally. To answer your question, Eddie, I think the wildcards speak for themselves. I think Sam is leaning towards Saka. I'm leaning towards Gyökeres. You could make a case for neither, because Gyökeres hasn't been amazing so far, but we think he's going to be better against
the lesser fixtures.
In the lesser fixtures, that's what he did against Sporting. Is very, very good against sort of the easier oppositions. And obviously, Sam, you're hoping that Saka can get back to his pre-injury days where he was just scoring for fun.
I just also find that the thing for me in my team, because I want to stick with João Pedro, is I don't have a spot in the front line. Because I've got Isak and I want to be there. I've got Haaland and it's impossible not to be there. And I want to stick with João Pedro for a little bit longer. So that means there's no space for Gyökeres. So then basically my choice is Saka or Eze. Now I would actually really like to go Eze. I love a wildcard team that's got Eze in it. But I'm just not quite there yet.
I know. This is the thing. This is why the wildcard this week is quite horrible, because I want to see, you want to see a bit more from Isak. You want to see a bit more from Saka after his injury. You want to see a bit more of Eze starts. Like you want to see Xavi getting successive minutes. Like this is the thing, because in 3 or 4 weeks, when all these players are getting 90, they could be absolute game changers for us.
Yeah.
But
the good thing about going for Saka is it's easy to go anywhere. That's where my head went. It was like, well, let's just go Saka, because I'm happy with the rest of the team with Saka in it. So let's go for Saka, and then know that if Eze is suddenly brilliant and is starting every week, which is what I'm expecting, I can get there, no drama. I just downgrade Saka, and then I've got 2 million I can play with.
Yep. Code Knight, Richarlison or Yockers?
This is also quite difficult, because for this week, Richarlison is a no-brainer, I think, against Wolves.
Icarus Fall says, good idea to keep and captain Richarlison against
Wolves.
I don't know
if I'd captain him.
Well, you went there with Kudus, and that didn't go well.
Yeah, I do think this is different, though, because it's Wolves this weekend. I mean, if you don't have Haaland, then maybe actually Richarlison. If you've got Haaland, just captain Haaland.
Yeah.
If you haven't got Haaland and you're not getting him this week, then actually I don't think Richarlison is terrible against Wolves. Their defensive numbers are shocking. He was mostly rested in the League Cup. He's going to start because Solanke's not ready yet. Tell's not good enough. So he's going to get the nod. He's going to be playing in front of a creative side. We've already seen the impact that, Xavi had last week in the Brighton game. Kudus was great in that one as well. Lots of positive stuff going on at Spurs at the moment. I don't think Leeds will be so easy, but I do think against Wolves he could be a really nice pick.
Yeah. Short-term option, or is he a decent sort of mid-term?
I think Solanke's not going to be rushed back, because we've been rushed back once and then he's fallen apart again. So I suspect actually Richarlison's going to get the starts for the foreseeable future, with maybe a little bit of Solanke coming off the bench, and maybe we see some rotation after Champions League because Tell's not in the Champions League squad. If it's an easier fixture, maybe Tell can start up top, but he's really not great in that position, and Richarlison is definitely the best we have in that slot.
James, he says Richarlison was lying on the floor being petulant last game, bad attitude. Have you seen Richarlison play?
That is what Richarlison does.
Always doing that.
Even when Richarlison scores a hat-trick and we've won, he's still a bit petulant. That's just how he is.
He is a very petulant player. Mark says, why are all content creators going 3 up top? A lot of money up top to be fair, Haaland, I think it's just because Haaland, Pedro and Gyökeres is just such a easy 3, isn't it? Obviously, when you've got Isak in as well, but Pedro's had great form. You're going to pick Haaland, and Gyökeres has got the best fixtures. That's why it is. Who's better at 7.5 million than Pedro, even taking into account the midfielders? There's not many, or any.
No.
He's a great pick.
He's a great pick. And I also think that when you're wildcarding, because we're a little bit blind with some of these players, going for 3 more expensive ones up top does mean that you've got flexibility to move around, and I also like that about that front 3. And I just don't think, when Palmer's been out before, Pedro's looked really good, and there's no reason to think that he wouldn't do that again this time around. Your boy's really good in attack, but not so great in defence. So fair. No reason to think that Chelsea wouldn't score. Like, I'm not saying that they won't. I think Chelsea will concede. I think Brighton will score, but I do think that Chelsea will score against you, and if they do, good chance that João Pedro is part of it. So he's got to stay. Haaland feels like just an absolute no-brainer. Like, you're basically picking 2 forwards, aren't you? We're at that point now.
Yeah. I mean, I you're going to have one of Gyökeres or Saka on a wild card. You just are. The fixtures are so good for Arsenal, so I can see you can make a case either way, but you can see why people are going for Gyökeres. He's a bit cheaper on pens, we think, playing up front. Yeah, I get it. And there's at 7 million-ish, 7.75. I think Xavi and Semenyo are the best options. Everyone's got Semenyo anyway. So Xavi versus João Pedro, I think security of minutes pushes you towards Pedro. Yep. Pretty easy one. A transcendent mother, Lurker here. I love watching you two together. You both have great energy. Thank you.
Oh, that's nice.
A transcended mother. Great name. So thank you. Who do I sell Ekitike for? Oh, she can afford Isak or Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin or Gyökeres.
Oh, anybody. I wouldn't go Calvert-Lewin.
I would eliminate him from any list anyone is considering. My God. Oh God, no, no.
Do you remember the days when we all had Calvert Lewin up top?
Oh yes, I do indeed. Well, actually,
the amount of traps we fell into with Calvert.
Well, I didn't buy him for 8. You know, we got that 17 goals. He just kept scoring every week for fun in the early starts of the season. Yeah, I do remember. I just ignored him every week, and then he killed me. And then I bought him in, and then he didn't score again for like 5 or 6 weeks, which it just happens so often.
It sounds about right. I think I've had that with Callum Wilson in the past as well. He's the sort of does the same thing, doesn't he?
The smart money is on Gyökeres. The fun money
against Newcastle.
Well, just in general, this isn't for 1 week, is it? This is a.
Well, it depends. If you're not wildcarded yet, you might be just taking a little bit of a couple of weeks. Because if it's a couple of weeks, I'd go Richarlison. If it's forever, and you've got,
I'd still pick Gyökeres.
Would you?
Yeah, West Ham at home.
They've got Newcastle this week.
Yeah. I'd still pick Gyökeres. Do we think Richarlison's on pens?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe 2 weeks of Richarlison, then max. If you wildcarding within the next 2 weeks, Richarlison. If wildcarding later, Gyökeres. How about that?
I mean, I still really like Isak. That's why I've gone in with him on my wildcard. But then maybe that's because I've got Saka. If I couldn't have Saka, would I have Gyökeres? Yes. I still think Isak will outscore.
Yeah, go on. Back Isak. Go on. I'll say Gyökeres. You say Isak.
But go Richarlison for 2 weeks if it's
for 2 weeks. Pump. There you go. Yep. Good. As is traumatised by Calvert Lewin. I'm traumatised by many, many players in this game over the last few years. That doesn't narrow it down. I think that was during one of my better seasons as well. But anyway, who even knows?
I've got to go on the fantasy show with this rank tomorrow. God.
At least they don't display it.
No, they don't. And actually, when we go on Sky, I've asked them not to display it yet because I can't go on Sky with a rank of 8.3 million. It's nearly 8.4.
Couple of grifters, aren't we? Sushan, is Endai another Paqueta in the making? What do we think about Endai? I like him.
This week, Endai looks great.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
So Endai's one on wildcard that I've really been torn on because for this week, I really like it. But then I don't really love it afterwards. Like the fixture against West Ham is really attractive, but then after that, I definitely prefer like the Kudus or the Xavi or the like one of those. And then you've got to compare whether actually, because that would be the slot in my team. And then I'm just like, well, actually, is a fixture against West Ham that much better than a fixture against Wolves? Not really.
Yeah. And it's Everton.
I
do like Endai though. Good underlying stats on pens. He's doing really well on Defcon as well.
He is doing really well on Defcon, yeah.
He's like the complete package. He's given a bit of everything, and Everton are actually managing to score. So I really like him. I think he's an excellent pick. FPL Bill says Simmons or Endai on a wild card. I think I'd go Endai for that security. You just at the moment you've got 2 good home fixtures coming up. You've got guaranteed minutes, pens. Everything. I love Simmons as a pick, but if I had to pick one on the wild card, I'd be picking Endai.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because I've not done that. I've gone with the Spurs pick.
Yeah, you've gone for Kudus.
Possibly Xavi.
I'd have Endai over Kudus any day, but I don't like Kudus, so
I just don't really trust Everton.
No, you trust Spurs. That's nice.
This season I do. Have you met Thomas Frank? He's delightful. Where's he been my whole life?
He's a good lad, to be fair.
Yeah, he's proper good. I do like Endai, but I still think I'd punt on Spurs. I just think the upside of Xavi is huge, whereas Endai it could be Grealish. There's others at Everton. I just think Xavi might be brilliant. I'm a bit worried that I've not put him in instead of Kudus. That might be the tinkering I have to do yet.
Yeah. Okay. Brown-Larama, bench Konate or Timber?
Newcastle won't score.
Yeah, you don't bench Timber at the moment.
Newcastle, they don't have any. They just don't score.
And I think Endai. I think Palace scoring that. I think Timber's got more attacking threat, and I think he's got more chance of a clean sheet.
Agreed. Liverpool fall asleep and they'll concede. I'd absolutely bench Konate.
Yep. Who to bench? Because people got some benching dilemmas. Who to bench? Reinders or Grealish?
You cannot bench Reinders against Burnley.
You cannot bench Grealish against West Ham, surely.
Code night. Let's have a list of the rest of your team. There's got to be someone else that can be benched.
This is the classic one where we're going to try and answer
that we have to. How can you bench one of them? They're playing two of the Burnley are terrible for XGC. West Ham are just terrible. There's no way that those two are the weakest links in your team. Then you got to bench one of them.
I completely agree. If I had to bench one, it would be Grealish.
Yeah, I would bench Grealish as well of the team, but it can't be. No. It just can't be.
No. Luke the Lucky, as noted, you had Lacroix. Do you think he's worth the 0.5 billion over Richards? Yes, from what I've seen, and DEFCON potential is slightly higher. You could argue that Palace's fixtures aren't great, and it doesn't really matter too much because they're both sort of in the man similar. I just think with harder fixtures, I think Lacroix is going to outscore Richards by a bit. I really like Lacroix. I wish I just started with him. I noticed him at the start of the season. Looking at Scout on some of the tables from last year and the DEFCON, he looks he's such an obvious pick. It's just the fixtures weren't there, so I didn't go with him. But
it's annoying because Max, my oldest, he went with Lacroix to start the season, and because we talked about him and I talked about how great a pick I thought he would be, and Max was like, all right then. And then he did his team on his own, and he came back and I looked at it after Gameweek 1 deadline pass, and I was like, oh, you went Lacroix. And then he's just continued to be brilliant. And I was like, oh, how annoying is that? Why didn't I?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think he is, but I think if you need 0.5 for anything, it'll be the first downgrade I'd make. Yeah. So put it that way. Icarus, Doku over Reinders. Sorry, give myself. You can talk.
Well, okay, I'll talk. I find this one really difficult because obviously Reinders is the informed one of the two of them, but Doku is playing incredibly well at the minute. So the underlying stats for Doku look really good. My issue is that he hasn't been consistently really good. And is he going to stay at that level, or are we going to see a bit of a regression from him? And will he continue to get the nod? I think he will for now, but with Reinders, I just feel like there's, for the price difference as well, I don't think you're getting exceptionally more by going for Doku over Reinders, so therefore I would pick the Reindeer.
The Reindeer. I'd pick him as well. I think he's another level, and you're just going to want him long term, and he could score against Burnley. His price goes up
easily.
Another 1.2.
Agreed. I'm surprised he's not gone up more already, to be honest.
One of a few things I got right was picking him at the start of the season, but of course I benched him last week.
One of the many things I got wrong was not picking him at the start of the season. I dropped him whilst at Fest.
You shouldn't bench him though. You didn't bench him.
No, I did bench Keenan Dewsbury Hall, who I got in his place for his hauls. So
Yeah. Oh god, it's no one. We could be doing all right if we played those two
tell me about it.
The official Hilton. I'm 5,000 in the world.
Do you want to swap?
Not having the template is the way to go this season. All FPL content creators are the same. Maybe times you try something different. FPL family, only content create different. The trouble is, as soon as we switch and do something different, that's when the review teams and the model team just start absolutely smashing it. So,
but I do feel like my team hasn't been that template so far this season. I have been a bit different, and it's gone badly. And then yet here I am going again with doing something a little bit different. But I don't know. It is really hard. I do think that this start of the season it's been harder than normal, and I can't quite work out why that is. I think in part is because the fixtures and the form haven't really aligned yet. So the ones that have had the best fixtures haven't necessarily been the ones in the best form, and vice versa. So when you look at the fixtures, you wouldn't have gone Palace to start the season necessarily based on fixtures, certainly not defensively, yet here we are. Same with Newcastle, actually. I didn't go with the Newcastle defenders to start the season because I didn't love the fixtures, but actually they're really solid defensively, and it would have been the right thing to have done. And then it's been, the decision to go with Salah over Haaland that has been problematic, not having Reinders because I decided to save 0.5 and have Dewsbury Hall. It's those little decisions and before you know it, the positive thing is that, everything is still very tight, so it is really easy to move as long as you get the team right and you start. But you have to get early on players, and so you do have to be a little bit different because it's the only way to make those jumps.
I wish they'd slow down the price rises like in the early parts of the season, because it just doesn't allow you to be patient with players.
No, you have to jump, don't you?
You have to jump and you have to move early, and it's, I don't know, I hate it. I want to keep faith in players for more than 5 weeks, and you can't, because like look at someone like Senesi just going up and up and up, and he's going to be 5 million soon.
Semenyo's gone up by 0.7 already.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Vert's going down 0.3. Watkins is down.
He'll go down again tonight, Watkins.
Yeah, God knows how much he's down, but yeah, just keeps happening. Double Villa, Andrew Shearer says lots of double Villa. Yeah, Rodgers and Watkins. Andy was going to go. Andy was going to go Marlon, Rodgers, and Watkins, and really try and hit the fixtures, but luckily he found some sense. Code Knight, as Sam, this is my midfield: Eze, Semenyo, Kudus, Reinders, Grealish. Reinders or Grealish bench. I would bench Eze. I'd bench Eze over Grealish or Reinders.
So ridiculously, so would I, because I do think that Arsenal defence is solid. Sorry, that Newcastle defence is solid. Of all the defences that are going to be played there, Semenyo's got Leeds, Kudus has got Wolves, Reinders has got Burnley, Grealish has got West Ham. Those are the defences to target.
Yeah, and Eze is the biggest minutes risk, and he's playing one of the best. Well, he's playing statistically the best defence in the league. Yeah. I think I would do the same. I think that's it's an easy one on paper. Doesn't mean it's going to be right, but
I know that feels horrible as well, because you're not benching your cheap assets, but it does feel like in that defence that feels the right thing. Yeah. What is the rest of your bench like? Is it not worth a bench boost?
Could be, yeah, it could be. Yeah,
because that's the other thing to consider. Like the bench boost, could you just knock it out the park in a week where your bench looks all right? So if you're having to bench Eze and you think he's going to do well,
I think he starts Eze, but it's likely he gets 60 minutes again, or he might not start. So he's a risky pick Eze at the moment, like with Martinelli there and Trossard's. They've both been doing all right as well when they've come on. They've both been,
well, he was man of the match, wasn't he, last week when he came on?
Yep. Cool. I think that is about it from us today. Sam, a pleasure as always.
It's always. This is one of the highlights of my week, because I come here.
Sorry,
I come here. I get to just talk with you. Nobody gives me any grief on this stream either. Like,
no,
nobody's
very
going,
nice.
Yeah, it's just, and you don't come and go, what are you doing? Why are you so terrible? Like, so I come here. I like chatting to you.
I can't really when I'm 7.5 million. So
yeah, but this time next week, we won't be.
No, well, you won't be. I might be even further down if I don't.
No, you won't. You won't.
Good.
I think I'm fairly locked. If that was
you're fairly locked. That was going to be my question. That is going to be my question. Yeah.
I think so. The big question mark is: do I go Pope over Raya in order to go Xavi over Kudus? That is the big question. Yeah. I think I prefer to have Raya long term over Pope.
Yeah.
And therefore, maybe given that Kudus is probably a couple of weeks, it's probably Wolves and Leeds, and then move on. Maybe I'm happy to just stick with him over Xavi, but there will always be a bit of a longing regret, particularly now. So my new away shirt turned up. Oh, I've got it here. Hang on.
Ooh.
My new away shirt turned up. So I sat in the stands at the Champions League game the other night. And I had Max with me, and I wanted to take him in the shop and buy our shirts, but the queue was massive, so he didn't. So I ordered it from the seats.
I mean, you can't not bring in Xavi now you've got his shirt.
I've got his shirt as.
Yeah, it's such a.
I got his shirt, and it's such a lovely shirt. And look,
it is. The black tops are the ones.
I mean, it is like, look at it. It is like, it's dreamy, isn't it? Like, that is nice.
I think I changed everything I said. I think you've got to go for Simmons. You've got to get him.
I'm going to wear this. I'm going on.
Exactly.
I'm going on Saturday.
Yeah, Sam,
and I'm going to be in this.
Stop messing about.
But then I've got to do Pope over Raya. And that means only doubling up on Arsenal, trebling up on Arsenal.
I said on Black Box last night I'd go Pope over Raya.
That doesn't mean it's right, as.
Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. Double defence is horrible. I hate owning double defence. Look how it's gone with Forest. One of the best defence in the league.
I know, but with Arsenal, that's never been the case.
It has.
Every time you double up on the Arsenal defence, it's been a good thing.
No, it hasn't. You've got a selective memory. I have owned double Arsenal defence many, many a time, and they just concede stupid. Last year, they I know they were up there, but they would still concede the odd stupid goal. It wasn't great.
Well, that might happen. Xavi might happen for Nick Pope.
Get Xavi. You've got his shirt. Come on.
I've got Mickey on the home and Xavi on the away, so it would make sense to have them as the two that are in my team.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done.
Although Max did buy Kudus. He's got Kudus on the back of his shirt.
I think Pope's a great option as well. I think his fixtures are so nice. So nice as well. Being massively
it does give me a route into the and it gets me early in on the nobody's going to go with him this week because it's Arsenal.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it gets me in early on that.
Yeah. Lovely.
Okay.
Cool. Right. Well,
I've enjoyed this. Thanks for cheering me up.
Oh, you're welcome. I feel
fun.
cheered up as well. It's been very good.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Good luck to everyone on wildcards. Hope you all get green arrows this week. And Sam and I will see you on the next one.
Bye, everyone. Have a good week.